Star Wars fans, we've got a couple really exciting updates all about the coming Obi-Wan Kenobi show.
This is where the fun begins.
This has to do with the Inquisitors. Oh, baby, I'm excited. Let's do this. What's up, everybody? It's Josh coming at you from Nerdvengers Tower as per usual. And yes, this all has to do with Inquisitors. It all has to do with the Kenobi show and a couple of different interviews with different people who I believe will actually be playing Inquisitors. And let's begin with the guy who I think will be playing the Grand Inquisitor.
What?
And let's pull this up on the research board here. This is all about Jason Isaacs, and basically this article, which is on /films.com, it explains some comments he made, which are pretty freaking wild and make me strongly feel as though he will be playing the Grand Inquisitor. So let's get into this right here. Apparently throughout this article, he's being asked many different questions, but when it comes to Star Wars, he instantly changes his tune, which I find fascinating. So it says here, Jason Isaacs can't say anything about Star Wars. It says here, when asked about the possibility of bringing the Inquisitor into live action Star Wars arena, Jason Isaacs was quick to shut any discussion about that topic down immediately. The actor playfully said, "I can't even acknowledge the existence of Lucasfilm as a real entity. I've signed so many NDAs. Even having this conversation with you now, I have to come round and cut your tongue out while you're sleeping. I apologize." And then the author goes on, even when I tried to be sneaky by asking him what he might hypothetically do with a live action performance of that character, Isaacs stood strong by saying, "There are no hypotheticals. This conversation is to be entirely avoided." The author goes on to say, "You can't blame a guy for trying. Thus, the same way we can't blame Jason Isaacs for being so cautious. Not only is Star Wars notoriously secretive, but surely he doesn't want to put any potential opportunities that might be in the cards in jeopardy. I think the same snipers hired by Marvel Studios to keep their scopes on Tom Holland and Mark Ruffalo have been hired by Lucasfilm, so Isaacs probably saw that red laser sight and knew that he needed to, or knew what he needed to do. Since I clearly wasn't getting anything with Star Wars, I tried to take it into a different direction." Now, if you didn't know Jason Isaacs, who is a really popular dude, like it's talking about how he played Lucius Malfoy in the Harry Potters. He's Captain Gabriel in Star Trek Discovery. He also voiced the character of the Inquisitor in Star Wars Rebels. And so it's really interesting because a lot of people think that that dude could play a live action Grand Inquisitor in the Kenobi show. And let's just stop for just a second and allow me to say that although it's not been widely reported, I do personally believe that the Grand Inquisitor will be in the show. Some of my sources, including my best source, dude, trust me, bro, he told me the Grand Inquisitor was going to be the one that was in the show and that, it was going to be a big freaking deal.
I'm kind of a big deal.
It's also worth mentioning that Lars Nicholson, the guy who did the voice of Thrawn for Star Wars Rebels, is also going to be playing that character in live action. Again, not confirmed by Disney, but there have been so many independent sources and people out there talking about this sort of thing that have more or less told us, yeah, man, it's going to be Lars. And he voiced the character. He's now going to be playing live action Thrawn. That's really, really exciting. I love this because I think this is the best way to sort of approach this, but that clear just turn of him not wanting to even talk about the Grand Inquisitor or him possibly doing it, the language that he used, to me, it seems pretty obvious, dude, that Jason Isaacs is going to be being the Grand Inquisitor in the Kenobi show. But that's not even all, as we get another surprise actor coming into the Kenobi show playing a significant role. And let's pull this up on the research board. So check this out. This is on rollingstone.com, and this is literally Kumail Nanjiani talking about his role in the Kenobi show. Okay, so this guy, you know, pretty famous dude. He's gonna be in the Eternals playing Kingo. So check this out. He's talking about how in a recent interview with Nanjiani coming online very soon, he also discusses his role in the 2022's Disney Plus series Obi-Wan Kenobi, in which Ewan McGregor reprises the title role for the first time since 2005's Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Here's what Nanjiani had to say about the top secret show, which is set between Episodes 3 and Episode 4. They ask, how did your role in Obi-Wan Kenobi come about? He said, my agents called me, and it was the whole group of them that never call you. And I was like, okay, this is either amazing news or really awful news. And they're like, they want you to play a part in Obi-Wan, and apparently it's substantial. So then I talked to Deborah Chow. We had a great conversation, and the character sounded awesome. I was so excited about this character. We haven't seen this exact thing in Star Wars yet. This is like a new version of a type of Star Wars character we've seen before, and she was trying to sell me on it. And I was like, I was gonna do it before the conversation. It was kind of perfect. Right after quarantine, I got my job in town, and it was in Star Wars. It was just the most joyful first job back possible. I didn't know how I could beat the experience I've had, which is a Marvel movie with Chloe Zhao, and who is amazing and maybe the greatest cast ever assembled. And then to have Obi-Wan as my next thing with another really fantastic cast. Ewan McGregor? Really? I don't know where to go from there. And so I decided to walk into the middle of the woods. They go on to ask, what was it like on set? He says, I had this moment. I heard Ewan was super nice, and then we got to know each other a little bit, just hanging out and talking. Then there was this weird moment where I'm talking to Ewan, and they yell action, and he started talking to me, and I was like, oh, I'm talking to Obi-Wan right now. This is not Ewan McGregor. This is Obi-Wan Kenobi that I'm talking to. My character is supposed to be a little bit intimidated by him, and I was a little bit intimidated. You know, it's friggin' Obi-Wan. What are you gonna do? Now, they also talk here about the volume and what's that like. He says, you really feel like you're there. The first scene we shot, it was a Star Wars outside the windows with aliens walking around and ships flying by and all this stuff. But the rest of it just looked like a warehouse. So I did a couple of takes, and then Ewan was like, you know, none of this is real. I knew the windows weren't real, but the walls weren't either. I looked at it and was like, wow, the walls are projected? The only thing that was real in the whole room was the desk I was sitting at. It was wild. It was really, really exciting. I love shooting like that because you don't have to pretend that you're on a spaceship flying through space. It really feels like you're on the spaceship flying through space. And it's amazing to be inside of the world of Star Wars, the world that I've been watching since I was born. I've been a fan as long as I can remember. In fact, I just went to Disneyland. I went to the Star Wars world and was like, oh, this kind of feels like being at work. Okay, so really, really cool. I actually think Kumail is awesome, dude. Just seems like a really fun dude with really fun energy. And I have sort of a theory based on some of the things that he said in this video. He's talking about a different version of a character that we've seen before in Star Wars and sort of being sold on that. And I will tell you, the fact that the role is going to be substantial makes me think of one of two things. I think he could either be some kind of a bounty hunter character that is hired to work with Obi-Wan, but him talking about the walls and seeing all these different characters really makes me think he's at like a cantina type setting or on a planet having a meeting with Obi-Wan with all this Star Wars stuff going on around him. The other thing that I think this could be is him actually being some kind of Jedi.
You're a Jedi Knight, aren't you?
Because I have actually heard that there could be other Jedi than Obi-Wan and other Jedi than the Jedi we meet during the prequels in the galaxy at this time, that there could be a version of Jedi that perhaps weren't even really active during the Clone Wars, right? This different type of Jedi. And I can't help but feel some of that coming across in the comments that Kumail is making, right? Maybe Obi-Wan has to meet up and be helped by a different type of Jedi, and this Jedi would then be really intimidated because this was a guy who actually was a part of the Jedi Order, the legendary Obi-Wan Kenobi that actually did face off with Darth Vader on Mustafar. That could bring a lot of oomph like that, and I'm also hoping that that's the case just so we see more lightsaber action. But to be clear, I have actually heard that there will be other types of Jedi and perhaps new types of Jedi in the Kenobi show. Mind-blowing stuff, but there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Exciting stuff about Jason Isaacs likely playing the Grand Inquisitor in this Kenobi show, and Kumail Nanjiani being some kind of an interesting new take on something we've seen before in Star Wars. I personally think he might be a new type of Jedi, which would blow me away. But I want to know what you guys think about this, so let me know in the comment section below. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe to our channel to see more of our content pop up in your recommended feed, and as I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.